Okay, so get this.
Mm-hmm.
There's this story, right?
Yeah.
About a 5,000-year-old Vimana
Oh, wow.
found hidden in Afghanistan.
Really?
I know. Sounds like straight out of an Indiana Jones movie, right?
Yeah.
You were talking ancient flying machines,
Yeah.
hidden caves,
Right.
even whispers about giants.
Wow.
We're going deep on this today.
Okay.
We've got excerpts from an audio file called Ancient Flying Vimana in Afghanistan.
Interesting.
And we're going to unpack it all right here, right now.
Sounds good.
What do you think?
Well, it's certainly a very captivating narrative, right?
Yeah.
Blends mythology and geopolitics.
For sure.
I think we need to start by clarifying what we're even dealing with here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For those who might not know,
Yeah.
the term Vimana
Right.
comes from these ancient Sanskrit texts.
Okay.
And it's not just some vague reference to a flying object.
Right.
I mean, these texts go into incredible detail,
Do they?
describing these Vimanas as capable of flight within Earth's atmosphere, space travel, and even underwater submersion.
Wow.
Pretty crazy, huh?
Yeah, they even describe propulsion systems using mercury vortex engines
Oh, wow.
and solar energy crystals.
Seriously?
Whether those descriptions have any basis in reality is something we're going to be exploring, obviously.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Right.
So this audio clip
Mm-hmm.
claims that a Vimana has been found hidden in a cave in Afghanistan,
Okay.
untouched for millennia,
Wow.
and protected by something called a
Time well.
time well.
Yeah, I've never even heard that.
To be honest with you, I'm not even sure what a time well is supposed to be,
Yeah.
but it sounds pretty ominous.
It really does. It's
Yeah.
not really clearly defined in the source material, which, yeah, just adds to the mystery of it all.
For sure, for sure.
But the story gets even stranger.
Okay.
It claims that soldiers have vanished trying to remove the Vimana from this cave.
Hold on. Vanished.
Yeah.
Like disappeared without a trace.
That's what the story suggests, yeah.
Wow.
And to add fuel to the fire, it also claims that world leaders,
Like,
Putin, Merkel, Obama, Cameron, Sarkozy,
wow.
all made sudden, unexplained trips to Afghanistan around the same time.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Like they were all going to check out this ancient flying machine.
Yes, supposedly.
Look at that.
What's the connection there?
Well, the story claims it stems from a report prepared for Putin by Russia's Foreign Intelligence Service.
Really?
And Stephen Quayle, the researcher featured in the audio clip,
Okay.
believes it's all connected.
Okay, so who is this Stephen Quayle guy?
Yeah.
And why should we care what he thinks?
So he's been researching ancient texts and unexplained phenomena for years.
Okay.
And he was interviewed on Coast to Coast AM
Oh, wow.
about this Vimana discovery.
Interesting.
Quayle believes the Vimanas were real, and that this discovery is so significant that world leaders are being prepped for a grand announcement.
A grand announcement.
Yeah, about alien life and the existence of ancient advanced technology.
Okay, hold on. Yeah.
Saying a grand announcement.
Yeah.
Alien life,
That's what he said.
ancient technology.
Yeah.
This is getting wild.
Yeah, it's a pretty bold claim, to say the least.
Definitely.
But let's dig a bit deeper here.
Okay.
So Quayle also suggests that there's this global hunt happening with China, Russia, and the U.S. all vying for this ancient technology.
That's a pretty intense thought, right?
It is.
Nations battling it out for ancient tech hidden in a cave in Afghanistan.
That's what he says.
Wow.
And here's where it gets even more curious. The story notes that around the same time as these alleged world leader visits, Hillary Clinton called all U.S. ambassadors back to D.C. for a highly confidential meeting,
Interesting.
which is apparently quite unusual.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so what does Quayle make of this ambassador meeting?
Yeah.
Is he connecting that to the Vimana discovery as well?
He seems to think so, yeah. He suggests that these ambassadors were being primed for some massive revelation, possibly about alien life and this ancient technology.
Okay.
He even called it a potential quantum shift in thinking.
All right, this is all very, very intriguing.
Yeah.
But let's be real here.
Mm-hmm.
Is any of this actually believable?
Right.
Or is it just, a wild conspiracy theory?
It's certainly a story that demands a healthy dose of skepticism, that's for sure.
Right.
However, Quayle makes a point about the need for discernment.
Okay.
He believes there are nuggets of truth hidden within this narrative.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to us to, sift through the noise and try to find them.
Yeah, I hear that.
Right.
But how do we even separate fact from fiction in a story like this?
Right. That's the challenge, isn't it?
Yeah.
You have to look at the evidence,
Right.
consider the source,
Of course.
and really weigh the plausibility of all the claims.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of evidence,
Okay.
this is where the story takes an even wilder turn.
Okay.
So it suggests that the cave with the Vimana
Right.
might be close to where a giant skeleton was found.
Yeah. Seriously.
And this was also discussed on Coast to Coast AM.
Oh, wow.
And Quayle believes there's a connection between giants and this ancient technology.
Interesting.
What do you think about that? All right.
It's a fascinating link.
Right.
Especially when we consider that ancient Babylonian text Quayle mentioned earlier.
Wait, what Babylonian text?
Oh, right. So it describes flying machines being gifted to humanity by those from upon high.
Okay.
So if we connect this to the alleged giant discovery,
Right.
it almost implies a link between giants and extraterrestrial beings.
Hold on.
Yeah.
So we're going from ancient flying machines to giants and aliens.
That's what he say.
I mean, this is getting pretty out there.
I know. It's definitely pushing the boundaries of conventional thinking, for
Right.
sure.
All right.
But Quayle doesn't stop there.
Oh.
He goes on to say that he believes that Zoroaster,
Okay.
the Persian prophet linked to the Vimana in the story, was actually a hybrid of a fallen angel and an earth woman.
Okay, now that's a new one. A prophet, a Vimana,
Right.
and a fallen angel.
That's quite a story.
I mean, how does he even come up with this stuff?
Again, it's a claim that requires careful consideration,
Yeah.
further investigation.
For sure.
But it does add another layer to this already complex narrative.
Absolutely.
And this whole idea of beings from upon high giving humanity advanced technology.
Right.
It's a recurring theme in a lot of ancient myths and traditions.
It is.
Yes.
And that brings us to this concept of forbidden knowledge.
Yeah.
I remember Quayle mentioned that too.
Yeah.
He seemed to suggest that there's like a lot of information being deliberately kept from us.
Yeah.
Maybe even about this ancient technology.
Right. He argues that the public has been, quote unquote, inculcated with lies.
Wow.
And that there's this wealth of forbidden knowledge out there.
Okay.
He even mentions the Pyramid of Saqqara in Egypt, which has images that resemble modern technology, as further evidence that ancient civilizations might have possessed advanced knowledge.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So we've got ancient texts, a possible Vimana discovery,
Right.
giants, fallen angels, and forbidden knowledge.
It's a lot.
I mean, where do we even go from here?
I don't know.
This is a lot to digest.
It is.
But before we dive any deeper,
yeah.
let's pause here for a second and consider what we've uncovered so far.
Okay.
What stands out to you the most
Yeah.
about this story?
Mm-hmm.
What are you finding most intriguing?
Well, let me think for a second.
Yeah, take your time.
Yeah, sure. What's really intriguing to me, is this recurring theme of advanced knowledge that was gifted to humanity, then somehow lost or suppressed.
Definitely, yeah.
It kind of echoes throughout these ancient texts, right? The Vimana discovery, even Quayle's theories about giants and forbidden knowledge.
It definitely stands out.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder if these ancient civilizations were so advanced.
Right.
What happened? Where did it all go?
And Quayle seems to think that this knowledge has been deliberately hidden.
Okay.
Protected by, certain groups or governments.
Right.
It's a tantalizing thought.
Yeah, for sure.
But it also raises some pretty big questions.
Like, who are these groups?
Right.
Why are they keeping this knowledge hidden?
Exactly.
What are their motivations?
Those are all excellent questions.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we don't have, concrete answers.
Right.
But we can explore some possibilities.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
What are some of the theories out there about why this ancient knowledge might be suppressed?
So one theory is that this technology is it's too powerful.
Okay.
Too dangerous for humanity to handle responsibly.
Right.
Maybe those who possess this knowledge believe we're not ready for it.
So it's like we're being kept in the kiddie pool of technological advancement until we learn to play nice.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
That's a good analogy. It's not entirely implausible.
Right.
I mean, look at how we've handled some of our, more recent technological advancements.
Yeah.
Nuclear weapons, for example. We created them, right?
Right.
But can we really say that we're mature enough to wield that kind of power responsibly?
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
And then there's, artificial intelligence.
That's right.
Which also has the potential to revolutionize our world.
It does.
But also comes with some pretty inherent risks.
Big time.
Maybe whoever's guarding this ancient knowledge see similar dangers.
Yeah, definitely.
With that.
There are other theories out there, too.
Okay.
Some suggest that this knowledge is being suppressed for more nefarious reasons.
Okay.
Maybe those in control, they want to maintain their power, right? And they see this ancient technology as a threat to their authority.
So it's about control, keeping the rest of us in the dark so they can stay on top.
Right.
That's a pretty cynical view.
It is.
But I can see how it might fit into this whole narrative.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah.
And then there are even more outlandish theories, like those involving secret societies or extraterrestrial beings, right?
Yes.
That are manipulating humanity from behind the scenes.
Okay, now we're getting into some serious conspiracy territory.
I know, right?
I'm always up for exploring those rabbit holes. So
okay, well, good.
Tell me more about these theories.
Okay, so some people believe that there are powerful secret societies that have been guarding this ancient knowledge for centuries, using it to, advance their own agendas, maintain their control over global affairs.
Like the Illuminati or something like that?
Some people believe so.
Wow.
And then there are theories about, extraterrestrial beings who have influenced human history, possibly even providing us with this advanced technology in the first place. But for some reason, they're now keeping us from rediscovering it.
Okay, that's definitely pushing the boundaries of what I'm willing to accept without some serious evidence.
For sure.
But I can see how it ties into this whole narrative about forbidden knowledge and a potential grand announcement about alien life.
Right, it does. And it's these kinds of, intriguing connections that make this story so compelling.
Yeah.
Even if it, stretches our credulity a bit.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got a range of theories.
We do.
About why this ancient knowledge might be suppressed.
Yeah.
Everything from, like, benevolent protection to power grabs to alien manipulation.
It's a lot.
It's a lot to take in, but I'm curious to explore this further.
Okay.
What else can we glean from the source material about this idea of forbidden knowledge?
So Quayle cites researchers like Michael Cremo and David Hatcher Childress.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Who have written extensively about suppressed archaeological discoveries.
Okay, interesting, yeah.
They argue that there's this whole body of evidence that challenges the conventional narrative of human history, and that this evidence is being deliberately ignored or suppressed by mainstream science.
Yeah, I've heard of those authors. They delve into some pretty controversial topics.
They do, yeah.
So what kind of evidence are they talking about?
They present evidence of artifacts and archaeological sites that seem to suggest that a much more advanced human civilization existed in the distant past. One that possessed technology that we're only beginning to understand today.
So they're essentially saying that our history is much older and more complex than we've been led to believe.
Exactly.
And they believe that this knowledge has been suppressed to maintain certain power structures and control narratives.
Pretty much. Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense. If you challenge the foundation of history, you're challenging the foundation of everything else built upon it.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's this potential challenge to the status quo that makes this topic, so fascinating and potentially dangerous.
For sure. Okay, so let's get back to this Vimana story for a minute.
Okay.
Quayle mentioned that the Nazis were obsessed with finding ancient technology.
They were.
Especially in India and Tibet.
Yeah.
What's the connection there?
So he sees a historical parallel between the Nazis' efforts, and this current alleged hunt for the Vimana in Afghanistan.
Right.
He believes that the Nazis, driven by their, occult beliefs and their thirst for power, were seeking out ancient technology that they could use to further their own agenda.
So they were essentially on a similar quest.
Yeah.
Searching for lost knowledge that could give them an edge.
Exactly.
And it raises an interesting question. Well, if the Nazis were so interested in this ancient technology, what did they know?
Yeah.
And did they find anything?
Right. It's a chilling thought.
It is. It definitely adds a layer of intrigue to this whole narrative.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's shift gears for a moment.
Okay.
We've been talking a lot about ancient technology.
We have.
But this story also involves giants.
Right.
And Quayle seems to believe there's a connection between the two.
He does.
Yeah.
Remember that Babylonian text we discussed?
Yeah.
The one that mentions flying machines being gifted to humanity by those from upon high?
Right, right.
Quayle interprets this as a reference to, extraterrestrial beings.
Okay.
And he believes that giants are somehow connected to these beings.
So he's suggesting that these giants were either created by aliens or were perhaps even the aliens themselves.
It's possible.
Wow.
He points to the fact that giant skeletons have been found all over the world,
right,
often in close proximity to ancient ruins and artifacts. He sees this as evidence that giants played a role in the development of these ancient civilizations.
That's a pretty bold claim.
It is.
I mean, is there any actual evidence to support this?
Well, the existence of giant skeletons
Right.
is a topic that's been debated for centuries.
Yeah.
There are a lot of reports and anecdotes,
Mm-hmm.
but concrete scientific evidence
Right.
is often lacking or disputed.
So it's more of a fringe theory at this point.
For the most part, yeah.
Okay.
But Quayle did mention that Iranian scientists are preparing to reveal some astonishing giant skeletal finds.
Oh.
He believes these finds will be, game changers,
Okay.
providing undeniable proof of the existence of giants and their connection to ancient technology.
Okay, now that's something I'd be interested in seeing.
Yeah.
If these Iranian scientists really do have some compelling evidence, that could shake things up quite a bit.
It really could.
Yeah.
And it would add another layer of complexity
Yeah.
to this already fascinating narrative.
Right. This is definitely one of the most mind-bending deep dives we've done yet.
I know, it's pretty wild.
We've gone from ancient flying machines to giants to government conspiracies to alien manipulation.
It's a lot.
It's almost too much to process.
I know. It's a lot to take in.
But before we get too carried away with these wild theories, let's pause here for a moment and consider what we've learned so far.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the key takeaways from this deep dive?
So one key takeaway is that there's a growing body of evidence, albeit controversial, right?
Right.
That suggests that human history might be much older and more complex than we've been taught.
Right. And that there may have been ancient civilizations that possessed advanced technology, technology that we're only beginning to rediscover today.
Exactly. And this rediscovery is raising a lot of questions, not just about our past, but also about our present and our future.
Like, who controls this knowledge?
Right.
Why is it being kept from us? And what will happen if it becomes widely available?
Exactly. Those are all valid questions.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we just don't have clear answers.
Right.
But I think the most important takeaway is that we need to be open to new possibilities.
For sure.
To challenge the accepted narrative.
Right.
To think critically about the information that we're being given.
I agree. This deep dive has definitely opened my mind to some new perspectives.
Good.
And it's made me realize just how much we don't know about our own history.
It's a valuable realization for sure.
Yeah.
And it's a reminder that we should never stop questioning, never stop exploring.
Right.
Never stop seeking the truth.
Well said.
So.
Speaking of exploring, we still haven't talked about the Philadelphia experiment.
Right.
That alleged top secret military experiment that's supposedly involved teleportation and time travel.
That's a good one. The Philadelphia experiment?
Yeah.
As fascinating as it is controversial.
For sure.
Let's delve into that next.
Okay.
Because it might shed some light on the potential capabilities of this ancient technology that we've been discussing.
Let's do it. Okay, so the Philadelphia experiment, for those who might not know, it's this alleged top secret military experiment from 1943 where the U.S. Navy supposedly tried to make the USS Eldridge.
Okay.
It was a destroyer.
A destroyer. Okay.
Invisible to radar.
Wow.
Now it sounds crazy.
It does sound a little crazy.
But there are tons of stories and theories surrounding it.
There are.
So what do we know about it?
Well, it's definitely one of those historical mysteries that captures the imagination for sure.
Yeah.
So the accounts claim that they used some kind of electromagnetic field technology.
Okay.
But things went a little haywire.
Haywire? How?
So the ship supposedly didn't just become invisible to radar.
Okay.
But it vanished.
Vanished.
Entirely from the Philadelphia Naval Shipyard.
Okay.
And reappeared in Norfolk, Virginia.
Hold on.
Hundreds of miles away.
Wait, are you saying they teleported a whole warship?
That's what they say.
That's insane.
It's a crazy story.
So how does this tie in to the ancient tech we've been talking about?
Right. So some believe the technology used in the Philadelphia experiment, assuming it even happened, was based on principles discovered from, ancient texts.
Okay.
Particularly those describing Vimanas.
Right.
And their propulsion systems.
So you're saying the U.S. government might have reverse engineered ancient technology to create some kind of cloaking device.
It's possible.
It really makes you wonder what else they might be hiding.
Yeah, for sure. Adds fuel to that whole fire of, forbidden knowledge. Yeah. I mean, if they could pull that off back in the 40s, what are they capable of now?
Seriously.
It's a pretty chilling thought.
And some of the stories about the Philadelphia experiment get pretty dark.
They do.
I've heard accounts of sailors being fused to the ship's metal.
Oh, wow.
Others going insane from, time distortions.
Yeah, I've heard those too.
Is there any truth to these claims?
Well, the official stance is that the experiment never happened.
Right.
The U.S. Navy denies it all.
Of course.
And, many dismiss it as a hoax. Mm-hmm. But some insist there's more to the story, pointing to inconsistencies in official records and eyewitness accounts that haven't been fully debunked.
So we're left with more questions than answers.
Pretty much.
If it did happen, what really went down on that ship?
Right.
And could it be linked
to
these ancient texts describing Vimanas capable of manipulating space and time?
That's the big question, isn't it?
It really is.
Whether the Philadelphia experiment is fact or fiction.
Right.
It raises some fascinating possibilities about what might be achievable with technology, both ancient and modern.
It really does.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
We have.
We started with this crazy story of a Vimana found in Afghanistan. Then we explored ancient texts.
Great.
Giants, forbidden knowledge, government conspiracies.
Of course.
We even touched on the Philadelphia experiment.
Yeah, we did.
It's been a roller coaster.
It really has. It's been a wild ride.
But I think that's what makes this topic so captivating, right?
It is. It challenges our understanding of the world, just the boundaries of possibility.
Yeah.
And invites us to question, everything we thought we knew.
It's definitely given me a lot to think about.
Good.
But let's bring it back to our listener for a moment.
Okay.
What does all of this mean for them? How can they apply what we've discussed to their own lives?
So I think the biggest takeaway is the importance of curiosity and critical thinking.
For sure.
We shouldn't blindly accept everything we're told, right?
Right.
Whether it's from official sources, mainstream media, or even, fringe researchers like Stephen Quayle.
Exactly. We need to be discerning, weigh the evidence, consider multiple perspectives, and come to our own conclusions.
Exactly. And we should never stop asking questions.
I agree.
This deep dive has only scratched the surface of these topics.
Right.
There's so much more to explore.
For sure.
So many rabbit holes to go down.
And that's the exciting part.
It is. There's a whole world of knowledge out there just waiting to be discovered.
Who knows what mysteries we might uncover.
Exactly.
If we just keep digging.
And those discoveries might not just change our understanding of the past.
Right.
But they could shape our future. I mean, if even a fraction of what we've discussed today is true, it means we're capable of so much more than we've been led to believe.
That's an empowering thought.
It is.
It means we have the potential to solve our biggest challenges, push the boundaries of human ingenuity, and create a future that's truly extraordinary.
But it also comes with a responsibility, right?
Well, of course.
To use this knowledge wisely, ethically,
absolutely,
for the benefit of all humankind.
Well said. I think that's a perfect note to end on.
Yeah.
The future is in our hands.
It is.
Let's choose to create one that's filled with wonder, discovery, and just boundless possibility.
That's what we need.
And to our listeners, I say this.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to ask the big questions.
Ask away.
Don't be afraid to challenge the status quo. Don't be afraid to dive deep.
Yeah.
And explore the unknown.
Absolutely.
I mean, the truth is out there.
It is.
Just waiting to be uncovered.
Waiting for us.
And who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe you'll be the one to find it.
You never know.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
On this incredible journey.
It's been great.
Until next time, keep seeking.
Keep seeking, yeah.
Keep questioning.
Absolutely.
And keep diving deep.